Shabbat Shalom. I hope this week has gone well for you, and I'm sure, as I know I do, I can absolutely use some Shabbat energy. Well, I'm sure you've noticed over the course of these last few Fridays that this has been a video service. Each week, Cantor myself comes in and will videotape a sermon or a sermon and song or Devar Torah. But you may notice that whenever we're speaking, that our hair is not going to be exactly the same as it was during the service, and over the course of time, our body shapes may change a little bit as well. But please know that we are with you each Friday in our hearts and in our souls. And I hope that you know to reach out to us if you need anything. But we need to take a deep breath in and exhale out, breathing in that sense of Shabbat peace and exhaling out all the anxiety that we may be feeling at this time. And although we may not be together physically, we are together spiritually. Behold how good and how pleasant it is that we are together as one congregational family. We continue with Hine Matov.
Page 128. Hine Matov umanayim sheverachim gam yachad. 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 How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. Hine Matov umanayim sheverachim gam yachad. Hine Matov umanayim sheverachim gam yachad. How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. Hine Matov umanayim sheverachim gam yachad. Hine Matov umanayim sheverachim gam yachad. Sheverachim gam yachad. And we continue now with Shalom Aleichem on page 142. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon.
continue with Lecha Dodi on pages 138 and 139. Continue the lighting of our Shabbat candles on pages 120 and 121. As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us, as their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel
And you know our tradition. As we welcome Shabbat, I invite you to welcome, if anyone's with you, wish them a Shabbat Shalom. Even if you have a four-legged member of your family with you right now, wish them a Shabbat Shalom. We continue with Baruch Hu. Please rise if you are able, but you're at home, you could do whatever you want. As we continue with Baruch Hu. Page 146. Continue on page 149. Please join me if you're able. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, for whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai ha'ma'ariv aravim. Page 150.
Ahavat olam, Beit Yisrael.
I invite you to join us in taking a deep breath in and exhaling out as we continue with Shema on pages 152 and 153.
Open up our eyes, teach us how to live, fill our hearts with joy and all the love you have to give. as you lead us to your name, and we will know that you are one. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Leolam Vaed. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Leolam Vaed. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
We continue on page 154 with Ve'ahavta.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. You shall love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. Take to heart these instructions with which I charge you this day. Impress them upon your children. Recite them when you stay at home and when you are away, when you lie down and when you get up. Bind them as a sign on your hand and let them serve as a symbol on your forehead. Inscribe them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. Thus you shall remember to observe all my commandments and to be holy to your God. I am Adonai your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your God. I am Adonai your God.
We continue responsively on page 157. In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say, Adonai, there's one God in heaven and earth.
The high heavens declare your glory. May earth reveal your justice and love.
From bondage in Egypt we were delivered. At Sinai we bound ourselves to your way.
Inspired by prophets and instructed by sages, time and again we overcame oppressive forces.
Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your vision of a world redeemed.
Let us continue to work for the day when the nations will be one and at peace.
Then shall we rejoice as Israel did, singing on the shores of the sea. We continue with Michamoch on page 158. Page 161. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up, waiting to do your will. Baruch ata Adonai, ha-poresh sukat shalom aleinu, v'kol amo Yisrael v'al Yerushalayim. We continue on page 162 with Vishamru.
Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
We continue now the central portion of our worship with our tefillah on pages 164, 166, and 168. Please rise if you are able.
Eloheinu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim,
וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע, משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלע. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש.
Page 171. Days pass and the years vanish, and we walk sightless among miracles. God, fill our eyes with seeing and our minds with knowing. Let there be moments when your presence, like lightning, illumines the darkness in which we walk. Help us to see wherever we gaze that the bush burns unconsumed, and we, clay touched by God, will reach out for the holiness and exclaim in wonders, how filled with awe is this place, and we did not know it. Blessed is the Eternal One, the Holy God. Baruch atah Adonai ha'el hakadosh. Page 175. We join together. You are with us in our prayer, our love, and our doubt, and our longing to feel your presence and do your will. You are the still, clear voice within us. Therefore, O God, when doubt troubles us, when anxiety makes us tremble, when pain clouds the mind, we look inward for the answer to our prayers. There may we find you, and there find courage, insight, and endurance. And let our worship bring us closer to one another, that all Israel and all who seek you may find new strength for your service. Baruch atah Adonai, she'odcha levadcha be'ir'ah na'avod. We continue on page 178 with Shalom Rav.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha, tasim leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha, tasim leolam. Ki ata hu melech adon, lechol hashalom. Ki ata hu melech adon, lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha, tasim leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha, tasim leolam. V'tov beinecha levarech et amcha Yisrael, b'chol עת ובכל שעה
invite you to join me in taking a deep breath in and exhaling out. And as we breathe in now, I invite you to feel that sense of connection that we must feel even during these difficult times. And exhale out all that fear that you're feeling right now. Another deep breath in as you breathe in that sense of Shabbat peace. And exhale out Mishagas. As we pause now in silent reflection. Shabbat Shalom. For this week's Devar Torah, as you see, I am home. I thought maybe it'd be a little more appropriate for you to see exactly where I've been this entire time. I've not been in the sanctuary sitting on the bima during these weeks, obviously. This week has been a challenging week for me personally, and I thought I would share a few words with you for this Devar Torah on this Erev Shabbat. Rabbi Sigma Koren died a week ago this morning. She was the senior rabbi at Rockdale Temple in Cincinnati, Ohio. She was Sissy to me and my fellow classmates. We were ordained together in Cincinnati, Ohio in 1993. We met in Jerusalem our first year in rabbinic school in 1988. Like everyone else, I gave her a nickname. It was an easy one for me. I just called her Sis, which I continue to call her every time we'd see each other. Sissy had been battling cancer the last year, and it ultimately claimed her life last week. She was young, in her mid-50s, leaving behind a husband and children, as well as her congregation. My classmates 2 days prior to her death gathered to create a message of comfort for Sissy. None of us could have imagined that she would be dead 2 days later. I saw her last this past December at the Union for Reform Judaism's annual or biennial. I would have seen her in March if we were able to have had our annual Central Conference of American Rabbis convention. For Sissy, as I did, attended as much stuff as she could, for she was devoted to her congregation, her role as rabbi, and to our movement. Sadly, Sissy was the second classmate to die in the last few years. Rabbi Stephen Mills preceded her in death. And it did not hit me until a couple days ago that when I was in rabbinic school, during one of our school breaks, we went down to Eilat with Sissy and Steve, who ironically were seeing each other for a short period of time during that time. The four of us had a wonderful time being together, and it's hard to imagine that that was 30 years ago this summer. I never would have thought that the memory would be so impactful and comforting today. For that experience was a couple of days of hanging out and playing. We were idealized student rabbis hoping to change the world and drinking beers in Eilat. What I truly appreciated was how we were able to keep in connection with each other. I loved these two classmates tremendously. I was not as close to Sissy as I was to Steve. Neither of them were in my study groups. I did not talk to them weekly. I saw them once or twice a year, the most. But the connection has always been there, and we knew how we felt about each other. And maybe that is what all this is really about. During these difficult times when we are supposed to be home and away from each other, we have the opportunity to reach out to those whom we love, to tell them we love them. And Sissy's death, my best friends in rabbinic school and I connected and reminded each other how much we appreciated and loved each other. But we should not have to have a loss of someone close to us, someone we love, to remind those in our lives we love them and appreciate them. So, my dear congregants, on this Shabbat in the middle of May, during this pandemic, Let us be reminded of the importance of our relationships and of our connections. May we be inspired on this Shabbos to hold close those we love, and let us demonstrate that love by picking up the phone, Zooming a session, texting a few words to that person. For our relationships are precious. What are we waiting for? Shabbat Shalom. We continue with Elena on page 586. Please rise if you're able.
Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon ha'kol, la'tet gedula le'otzer breshit, shehu notei shamayim ve'oser haaretz, u'moshev yikaro b'shamayim mima'al, u'shchinatu zo begofei merhomim, u'Eloheinu ein od, va'anachnu korim, u'mishtachavim u'modim, לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו
We now focus our energies toward those who are ill and in need of healing. On this Shabbat, we think of Jason Adams, Sally Amarendrez, Adam Barish, Chana Bat Miriam, Eliana Bat Chana, Abby Baker, Tony Berliner, Dr. Arnold Berliner, Robert Berg, Barbara Berlant, Sarah Beinstock, Sandy Beinstock, Spencer Blitshock, Rich Burns, Esther Burton, Dr. Ed Kahn, Bob Kant, Simone Cardinier, Mal Kosman, Hadley Crane, Rebecca Lindecker, Celeste Donley, Elise Epstein, Peter Fadum, Bill Fink, Jason Fishoff, Carolyn Franklin, Sandy Friedman, Holly Fugit, Julie Cleaves, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, Jennifer Guerra, Courtney Hansen, Lee Henderson, Celeste Hutchinson, Barbara Jackowitz, Evelyn Katz-McCosker, Petrus Lacey, Leah Tzvia Batliba Ve'elchanan, Janice Lucero, Young Sung Lot, Father Bill Leninger, Shirley Lerner, Gary Levine, Penny Levine, Austin Lucero, Neil Mandel, Eva Misley, Peggy Monroe, Melanie Pearson, Judy Pell, Carol Ross, Marilyn Rudy, Richard Rusnak, Dolores Sams Hoy, Laura Sanders, Corrine Silverman, Sybil Summer, Donna Thyman, Ann Thompson, Pham Tai Trang, Martha Walker, Teresa Walsh, Claire Cecil Watson, Jeannie Watson, Nancy Weisenfeld, Dana Williams, Karen Williams, Sue Witten, Sherman Wong, as we join together praying for their better health with Misha Berach.
Avotenu
As we now come to the moment in our service when we think about members of our family and community who have died recently or in years past, I invite you upon hearing the name of your loved one to stand as a sign of your love and respect for that person, and to remain standing till all the names in our Yahrzeit list have been recited. Then together I invite us all to rise and recite together the ancient words of our mourner's Kaddish. On this Shabbat, we think of those that are grieving the Shabbat, the first week of mourning, for Helen Marchik Goldman, wife of our former Temple Emanu-El president Herb Marchik, my classmate Rabbi Sissy Koren, cousin of Judy Aronson, Lori Marie Rosen, uncle of David Messinger, David Dudi Messinger. We also think of those that are grieving the Shloshim, the 30-day period of mourning, for Ruth Silen, as well as those that are grieving the Shana, the first year of mourning, for Marion Bergoffen, Raymond Berman, Rabbi Samuel Brody, Carrie Broding, Laura Bruckheimer, Alexander Brustein, Stephen Ronnie Bush, Dr. Bernard Cohen, Vivian David, Jean Donnelly, Michael Dubrow, Marie Edwards, Mark Emanuel, Bert Epstein, Glenn Farber, Jackie Fazio, Beverly Furman, Marvin Fox, Melvin Grant, Lorna Hoffman, Joan Hammer, Susan Hammer, Dolores Jaffe, Seema Jaffe, Jerry Kane, Lori Kaplan, Brana Reuven Kate, Howard Kaufman, Peter Noble, Lori LeMay, Judy Siegler Lieberson, Irene Neal, Richard Pascoe, Nancy Pfister, Curtis Lee Robinson, Edith Rosenberg, Barbara Rudnicki, Marion Pattinson, Victor Ratner, Fred Retchen, David Reisner, Leo Rinsler, Ron Roth, Karina Salzman, Lorraine Samuel, Jane Schwartz, Art Silver, Marilyn Silver, Sophie Siemens, Alice Sklar, Sandra Sokolek, Bruce Summer, Bernard Spillman, Joan Rusnak Weinberg, Jill Wernick. We also think of the following Yahrzeits on this Shabbat: for Gertrude Altman, Morris Atlas, Claire Bassist, Marcus Joel Bernstein, Juliet Roy Bloom, Ruth Bryman, Frida Ida Engelman, Hirsch Engelman, Marilyn Feinstein, Jacob Feldman, Lena Feldman, Abraham Friedman, Margot Goldberg, Herman Greenberg, Rebecca Greenberg, Jacob Ari Katz, Eddie Koppel, David Levine, Florence Libglib, Frederick Lissack, Jack McKay, Kate Maiman, Gary Melman, John Meyer, Rebecca Miller, Jean Modiano, Joy Newman, Nathan Pollock, Sheldon Prezant, Anthony Rose, Burton Rubenstein, Solomon Sahim, Sarah Saltzman, Julia Shatton, Max Schwabi, Gilbert Sengaglalia, Irina Spiegel, Albert I. Silver, Isaac Yevolev. Zichronam livracha, may the memories of all of our loved ones endure as a blessing as we now rise to recite together the ancient words of our mourner's Kaddish.
Continue on page 598 with Kaddish Yatom, our mourner's Kaddish. Yitkadal ve'yitkadash shmei Rabba, ve'amad divrach chirutei ve'amlich malchutei, v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael, ba'agalav u'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabba mevorach le'olam olmei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei d'kudesha b'rechu, le'olam mikol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlomo Rabba mishamaya, v'chayim aleinu v'kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Osei shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'kol Yisrael, kudam v'imru amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who are grieved among us, or wherever they may be, as we say together, amen.
We conclude with a song for peace, Oseh Shalom.
Oseh Shalom bimroma, Hu yaseh Shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru amen. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.